Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Monday, September 26th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be going through a recap of yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out. Talking about my core picks for today, it is a very small 4-game slate overall, so a slate that I would not invest too much money in, probably play a little bit lighter than normal. And then talk about my top GPP stacks. At the time of this recording, my article is not yet up at WeBetATS.com, but once that is available, I'll leave a link to it down in the comments below. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. At the pitcher position, we went with Dylan Cease at $10,500. Got to 37 points. He was a hit in the second overall pitcher on yesterday's slate. So a pretty good play at that, although he was pretty popular yesterday, I believe over 40% in most contests. Then at first base, we have Matt Olson at $2,800, a guy that had been struggling quite a bit, but got to 9.5 fantasy points yesterday, so he was a hit for that $2,800 price tag. Not a bad play overall. Then on the opposite side of that game, we had Gene Segura at second base at $2,700. Got to 6.5 points, so we did give him a push yesterday. He wasn't anybody that hurt our lineup, but wasn't anybody that put it over the top at the same time. Then the outfield, we have Mike Trout at $4,300, got to 40.1 points, so he was a hit in the fourth overall outfielder in yesterday's slate, so a very, very good play there at that. And then last but not least, we had Manuel Margot at $2,500, was hoping for some of that good history versus Ross Stripling that he's had in the past, but he ended up with 3 points, so we did give him a push yesterday. So he was a cheap paydown option. That didn't quite work out the best yesterday, but you'll have that from time to time. So overall, it was a pretty decent day yesterday. If you had some other decent plays alongside these, a couple guys in my cheat sheet did pretty well as well, so if you went with that, had a pretty decent chance of cashing yesterday. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to the core picks for today. So it is not the most enticing slate, especially for pitcher today. You got the two guys at the top of Luis Severino and Kevin Gausman, but they're going against two very potent offensive lineups, so there is a little bit of risk there. Plus Severino's coming off the IL. I went with the third highest price pitcher on this slate, and Bryce Elder at $8,900, averaging just over 24.5 fantasy points on the season. Been making a couple spot starts here and there for Atlanta throughout the year. A decent little prospect, although he was one that I wasn't super high on coming out of college, but he's kind of proven me wrong so far. Goes against the Washington Nationals today. He's got a little bit of experience versus them. He had 32 and 26 points versus them in his two starts versus them this year. I believe both starts were 5 2/3 innings. So if he just gets up to that 6, he gets that extra 4-point boost for getting the quality start as well. And then at that point, you'd be looking at 36 and 30 points. But overall, the pitching's not super exciting today. He's a guy that does offer some upside in a favorable matchup, so that's why I went with him overall. Then at first base, we're going to go with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at $3,900, averaging over 11 fantasy points per game on the season. Going against the New York Yankees and Luis Severino on the mound today. It is Severino's second start back from the IL, so we'll see how many pitches he does throw in this game overall. I believe he is limited to 64 in his first start back, so might not pitch too deep into the game. Vladimir Guerrero has decent history versus him since he is 3 for 10 with 1 home run versus him in his career. Then we go down to his teammate at second base with Whit Merrifield at $2,500, averaging about 8.5 fantasy points per game on the season. Been kind of a weird year for him. He kind of struggled out the gate, and then after he got traded to Toronto, he played for a little while. Then they were kind of having him ride the bench for a little while, and now it seems like he's back to playing pretty much every day, and he's starting to hit the ball pretty well. He's got hits in 4 of his last 5 games, with 2 of those being multi-hit games. He has 4 for 11 versus Luis Severino in his career, so there could be some pretty decent upside there at a $2,500 price tag, which is nothing to sneeze at, especially on a small slate like today. Then we move down to third base with Rafael Devers at $3,800, averaging over 11.5 fantasy points per game on the season. He goes against the Baltimore Orioles and Jordan Lyles pitching today. The thing we know about Jordan Lyles is that he is liable to get lit up on any given start. He does have some good starts from time to time, though. I'm not going to put that past him, but the Boston Red Sox have hit him very well so far this season. He's had 3 bad starts versus them and the 1 lone good start, which was, I believe, the first start of the year against the Red Sox. So pretty good history here for this Boston Red Sox team and Rafael Devers, who is 5 for 15 with 1 home run versus Jordan Lyles in his career. Then we move down to the outfield with his teammate Kiki Hernandez at $2,700, averaging just under 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He is 6 for 12 versus Jordan Lyles in his career, so definitely could be some pretty good upside there once again as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $13,200 remaining, $3,300 per player. Maybe you want to pay up for a couple different options today and then kind of pay down at some other spots. That's probably a little bit more viable today since it is a smaller slate and there's not quite as many good options in the mid-range so far today. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my top GPP stacks for today. As I already mentioned, my article is not yet published over at WeBetATS.com, but once that is available, I'll leave a link to it down in the comments below. So in terms of the top GPP stacks that I do have for today, we have the Boston Red Sox going against Jordan Lyles. Already talked a lot about it when I was talking about Rafael Devers, but Lyles is somebody that is likely to get blown up on any given start. Like I said, he does have some good starts here and there, but 3 of his 4 starts versus Boston this year have not been good by any means, so definitely have some interest there. And a lot of these hitters do have pretty good history versus him as well. Then we move over to the Toronto Blue Jays. Some of these guys have hit Luis Severino pretty well in the past. Already talked about Severino coming back off the IL, his second start back. He only threw 64 pitches in his first start, so might not pitch too deep into this game as well. So I do like taking some chances there as well. And then last but not least, I have the Atlanta Braves going against Corey Abbott of the Washington Nationals. Not a lot of history there, but the Braves do have a very strong lineup and have some decent history at that versus Abbott in that limited history that they do have. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks as well as top GPP stacks for today, September 26th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on today's slate, whether it's someone from my core 5 picks, whether it's someone from my top GPP stacks. Probably pretty good odds that there is today since there's only 4 games in total. But if there's another player you guys think I did miss, I'm definitely interested in hearing who that is overall today. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Primarily MLB and NFL at this point in time, but once we get back around to the NBA regular season, I will be covering that as well. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this, as well as my NFL DFS core pick videos. Going to try to incorporate some more NFL DFS videos throughout the week, starting this week as well. So definitely be sure to be on the lookout for that if that's something you're into as well. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, a special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.